30,000 square foot estate.
This impressive property still remains in a lot of stories here.
What if I told you that John Wayne, the immortal icon of justice and courage, once played a ruthless villain in a film that was never allowed to see the light of day, a forgotten reel, buried in the shadows of an abandoned house, a tape capturing the Duke, not the weathered cowboy hero riding across the plains, but a cold, emotionless figure confronting the very ideals he once stood for. No studio dared release it. No newspaper ever mentioned it, ever. And on the rusted film canister, scribbled in faded ink, were just 5 chilling words. No one must see this. The discovery didn't just shake the sacred image of John Wayne. It ignited a journey into the untold darkness surrounding the man known as the Duke. John Wayne, hailed as the legendary Duke, shaped an entire era of Hollywood, where heroes loomed larger than life and the frontier spirit burned brilliantly. But behind the stoic cowboy facade and triumphant silver screen victories lies a story few truly know: the climb to cinematic glory, the opulent lifestyle he built, and the final, haunting years in a home now left to decay. In this video, we'll take you deep into his extraordinary career, the unseen shadows he carried, and the vast fortune intertwined with a cultural legacy that still lives on in America. Stay with us, because this will be a journey through Hollywood's history, where truth is never as simple as it appears on screen. Career, wealth, and the origins of a legend. John Wayne, actor, director, and legendary producer, amassed a staggering fortune over a 5-decade career. At his death in 1979, his net worth was reported at around $7 million, equivalent to nearly $25 million today when adjusted for inflation. Some estimates even suggest the real figure could be as high as $50 million, factoring in the enduring value of his cinematic legacy and private investments. But financial success stemmed from an exceptional acting career, with more than 170 films spanning 4 decades. John Wayne was one of the most bankable stars in Hollywood history, consistently headlining films from the 1940s through the 1970s. He not only commanded massive salaries, especially during his peak in the 1950s and 60s, but also skillfully negotiated for box office profit shares, a strategy that dramatically increased his personal income. His iconic roles in Stagecoach, 1939, The Searchers, 1956, and True Grit, 1969, which earned him the Academy Award for Best Actor, drew millions of viewers and cemented his unshakable position in the industry. By the end of his career, the total box office revenue of films featuring John Wayne was estimated to have surpassed $500 million, a staggering achievement for that era. But Wayne was more than just a movie star. In 1952, he founded Batjack Productions, giving him creative control and deeper financial stakes in his film projects. One notable example was the epic The Alamo, 1960, where he also served as director. This strategic move elevated him beyond actor status to become a true force in the film industry. Even in his final years, John Wayne maintained a steady stream of passive income, earning around $100,000 annually, equivalent to over $350,000. Today, through royalties and film profits, he also demonstrated sharp business acumen with investments in oil, cattle ranching, and restaurant chains, all of which contributed to a financial legacy extending far beyond the entertainment world. The legend began when Marion Michael Morrison, John Wayne's birth name, was born on May 26, 1907, in the small town of Winterset, Iowa, originally named Marion Robert Morrison. His name was later changed to Marion Michael Morrison, following the birth of his younger brother, Robert. In search of better opportunities, the Morrison family left Iowa for California, settling first in Palmdale, and then moving permanently to Glendale in 1916. In Glendale, his father, Clyde Leonard Morrison, worked as a pharmacist, while young Marion began showing signs of extraordinary promise. He attended Glendale Union High School, where he excelled in both academically and athletically, shining on the football field and actively participating in the debate team foundation that would later shape his confident, resolute persona. His athletic talent earned him a scholarship to the University of Southern California, USC, where he studied law and continued playing football at a high level. But a serious body surfing accident left him with a broken collarbone, forcing him to abandon his sports career and scholarship. It was a pivotal turning point, with his athletic dreams shattered. John Wayne turned his gaze toward Hollywood. He entered the film industry modestly, working behind the scenes at Fox Film Corporation, moving props and appearing as an extra. It was there that he caught the eye of the legendary director John Ford, who would later become the most influential mentor in his life and career. The real breakthrough came in 1930, when director Raoul Walsh noticed Wayne on set, impressed by his tall stature, rugged features, and natural charisma. Walsh cast him as the lead in The Big Trail, a pioneering outdoor epic filmed on an unprecedented scale. It marked a defining moment for a talent that would soon become one of America's most enduring legends. The golden milestone and artistic pinnacle. The true breakthrough in John Wayne's career came in 1939 with the film Stagecoach, directed by John Ford. Initially, the project struggled to secure funding, partly because at the time, Wayne was still considered a B-list actor, but John Ford remained steadfast in his belief. And when Stagecoach was released, it became a resounding success, catapulting Wayne into the ranks of Hollywood's major stars. The film didn't just elevate his career, it also cemented the immortal image of the Western hero, a role John Wayne would embody for the rest of his life. Over the next 2 decades, Wayne collaborated with John Ford on nearly 20 films, creating one of the most legendary director-actor partnerships in American cinematic history. With timeless works etched into the hearts of audiences. When the United States entered World War II, Wayne, due to age and family circumstances, did not enlist. However, he contributed to the war effort by touring with the USO, bringing laughter and a taste of home to soldiers in the South Pacific in 1943 and 1944. Few know that during these trips, Wayne also undertook secret assignments for the Offices of Strategic Services, OSS, the forerunner of the CIA, tasked with gathering intelligence on military activities in the region. Wayne's career continued to flourish throughout the 1940s, with standout films like Shepherd of the Hills, 1941, Reap the Wild Wind, 1942, Flying Tigers, 1942, A Lady Takes a Chance, 1943. Tall in the Saddle, 1944. Dakota, 1945. Red River, 1948. Wake of the Red Witch, 1948. And Sands of Iwo Jima, 1949. It was this final film, a haunting war story, that earned him his first Oscar nomination for Best Actor. It would take 2 more decades before Wayne finally took home the Oscar for his career-defining role in True Grit 1969, where he portrayed the hardened but deeply layered Marshall Rooster Cogburn. That performance not only embodied the grit that defined John Wayne, but also infused the character with humor and profound humanity, winning over critics and fans alike. Wayne's final on-screen appearance came in 1976 with The Shootist. The story of an aging gunfighter facing terminal cancer was a poignant farewell, mirroring Wayne's own quiet battle with illness in real life. The Shootist received critical acclaim, with legendary critic Roger Ebert ranking it among the top 10 films of the year. It garnered prestigious nominations including the Academy Awards, Golden Globes, BAFTA, and Writers Guild of America Awards. To the world, John Wayne was not just a movie star, he had become a cultural icon, the embodiment of traditional values, unwavering patriotism, and enduring strength. The Newport Beach estate. For years, John Wayne's films dominated Hollywood's box office, and with every role, whether as a cowboy, soldier, or daring adventurer, he not only earned public admiration, but also reaped tremendous financial rewards. One of the clearest symbols of his prosperity and stature was his stunning home in Newport Beach, California. Tucked away in the prestigious Big Canyon community, the estate served as a peaceful retreat for John Wayne, a place where he could escape the chaos of film sets and enjoy a simple, everyday life. Years after Wayne's passing in 1979, his family placed the property on the market, offering fans and collectors a rare chance to own a piece of American cinematic history. Initially listed in 2013 for nearly $4 million, the home ultimately sold for just over $2 million, a figure lower than expected, yet still reflective of the estate's unique value and its rich legacy tied to the name John Wayne, spanning approximately 500 square feet, around 418 square meters. The residence blended classic luxury with modern comfort. It featured 3 spacious bedrooms, 4 fully equipped bathrooms, and a formal library where one can imagine John Wayne quietly reading or contemplating new scripts. The backyard was a true sanctuary, a shimmering pool basking in the California sun, cozy barbecue areas, and open courtyards that unveiled tranquil natural views perfect for silent evenings beneath the stars. Most notably, the estate boasted sweeping views of the lush fairways of the famed Big Canyon golf course, offering a sense of serenity and grandeur, a striking contrast to the relentless pace of Hollywood life that John Wayne had long embraced. Within every brick, every door, every blade of grass on the property, one can still sense echoes of a bygone golden age where John Wayne was more than an actor. He was an enduring symbol of the American spirit. The abandoned house and the forgotten reel. Not every property John Wayne once owned retained the glamour of his Newport Beach estate. Across the city of Los Angeles, another of his homes tells a very different story, a quiet, haunting chapter, lost to time. That old house, once a symbol of mid-century elegance, now stands desolate in abandonment. From afar, the once grand facade reveals spreading cracks, with paint peeling from weather-worn walls. Time hasn't just worn down the brick and mortar, it has swept away the glow of a bygone glory. Strangely, the interior remains almost untouched. Vintage sofas, retro appliances, an aging television set, everything seems frozen in a moment from the 1960s. But nature has begun reclaiming its territory. Dead leaves scatter across the floor. Shattered windows allow ivy to snake through the rooms, weaving a green tapestry that cloaks every corner. During a property survey conducted in preparation for demolition, the inspection team stumbled upon a small door behind the garage, a hidden entrance to a basement not shown on any official blueprint. Rotting wooden steps led underground into a space filled only with shadows and the chill of time. In the deepest corner, behind a collapsed filing cabinet and tattered fabric, they discovered an old metal box, rusted and heavy with the weight of years. On its surface, a nearly faded, handwritten line read, "No one must see this." Inside was a 35mm film reel, and what it contained left everyone speechless. Unspooling the footage, they did not see John Wayne as the familiar figure, the righteous cowboy, the soldier of freedom. Instead, Wayne appeared in an unrecognizable form, a cold-blooded villain, with eyes sharp as blades and a gun no longer pointed at injustice, but directly at the values he had long upheld. No title, no music, no credits, just raw, unfiltered images, stark and chilling. Film experts speculated it was likely an experimental project, a role John Wayne once dared to attempt, only to decide, for reasons unknown, that it should never see the light of day, a quiet rebellion against the very image he had carefully built throughout his career, or merely an artistic exploration he couldn't bring himself to release. No one can say for certain. But from the moment that dusty reel was unearthed, the world was forced to confront another truth behind America's heroic icon lay shadows. Moments of doubt and inner turmoil that John Wayne never shared. That abandoned house is no longer just a physical ruin. It has become a symbol of the fading myths, a silent reminder that even the most admired among us have wrestled with silent demons the world will never fully understand. And somewhere, echoing through those cracked walls, lingers a question that remains unanswered. If a hero is no longer who we believe them to be, how will we remember them? A personal life of many chapters. Known to the world as the embodiment of the indomitable man on the Western screen, John Wayne's real-life story was far more layered, a life interwoven with lasting family bonds, enduring hardships, and quiet moments rarely spoken of. Wayne experienced 3 marriages, each marking a distinct chapter in his life's journey. His first wife, Josephine Alicia Sainz, a woman of Spanish descent, helped him build a family foundation with 4 children. Michael Wayne, born 1934, Mary Antonia, Tony Wayne, LaCava, born 1930s, Patrick Wayne, born 1939, and Melinda Wayne, Munoz, born 1940. These were the years when Wayne was still shaping his film career, struggling to balance the demands of movie sets with the role of a devoted father. His second marriage, to Mexican actress Esperanza Bauer was tinged with anguish, suspicions, and jealousy, especially involving co-star Gail Russell, though never confirmed, strained their relationship to the breaking point, resulting in a bitter divorce. Amid the spotlight of Hollywood, Wayne, too, faced the darker corners of private life, where fame could not mend what quietly fell apart. His third marriage to Pilar Palikte, a Peruvian woman, would be his longest-lasting union. Together, they had 3 children: Isa Wayne, born 1956, John Ethan Wayne, born 1962, and Marisa Wayne, born 1966. Though the marriage eventually led to separation, Pilar remained a significant figure in Wayne's life, especially during his final years. Their son, Ethan Wayne, followed in his father's footsteps, pursuing acting and later becoming a familiar face on the show Pawn Stars, where he helped preserve and authenticate his father's expansive cinematic legacy. The Wayne family's presence continued into the next generation. His granddaughter, Jennifer Wayne, daughter of Isa, carved out her own place in the spotlight as a member of the acclaimed country music group Runaway June, proof that the family's artistic tradition still runs strong in their bloodline beyond his official marriages. Wayne's life was also marked by a nearly decade-long romance with British Indian actress Merle Oberon from 1938 to 1947. Later in life, after parting ways with Pilar, Wayne found his final companion in Pat Stacey, the loyal secretary who remained by his side from 1973 until his death in 1979. Their quiet yet deeply emotional love story was immortalized in Stacey's memoir, Duke: A Love Story, offering the world a glimpse of the everyday John Wayne, simple, vulnerable, and far more human than the stoic figures he portrayed. When the stage lights dimmed, Wayne found joy in humble pastimes. He was a passionate reader of literary classics, especially works by Dickens, Conan Doyle, and Agatha Christie. Tales of courage, adventure, and justice didn't just feed his spirit. They mirrored the very qualities audiences came to cherish in his roles. Among the possession he valued most, his yacht, the Wild Goose, held a special place. Docked in Newport Beach, it was not merely a vessel of leisure, it was his sanctuary, a space where Wayne felt truly free, far from Hollywood's glare. In 2011, the Wild Goose was officially recognized as a National Historic Landmark, a lasting symbol of the Duke's free spirit. Of course, time spares no one. As early as the 1940s, Wayne began quietly wearing a toupee to maintain the heroic image fans had grown to love. Yet despite changes in appearance, his grit and iron will remain unshaken. Until the very end, John Wayne lived true to himself, a torch that refused to extinguish, even when fate's fiercest winds came howling. The final years and an enduring legacy. For most of his life, John Wayne was a heavy smoker. The image of him with a cigarette in hand was inseparable from his rugged, defiant screen persona, a defining element of the cowboy mystique he brought to life. He smoked up to 5 packs a day, and for years, it seemed that nothing could take down Hollywood's Duke. But in 1964, harsh reality finally came knocking. Wayne was diagnosed with lung cancer, a consequence of the habit that had become his trademark. Rather than hide, he confronted the illness head-on, publicly sharing his treatment journey and declaring that he had defeated what he called the Big C. Yet, the battle wasn't truly over. Wayne continued smoking not cigarettes, but cigars, believing them to be safer, combined with alcohol. These habits only worsened his condition. In 1978, he underwent heart valve replacement, and a year later, during gallbladder surgery, doctors discovered a malignant tumor in his stomach. The operation lasted 9 hours and required the removal of his entire stomach. But by then, the cancer had already spread too far. John Wayne passed away on June 11th, 1979, at UCLA Medical Center. At the age of 72, he died in the arms of his children, a quiet but deeply loving farewell. He was laid to rest at Pacific View Memorial Park, near Newport Beach Harbor, where his beloved yacht, the Wild Goose, had once been his serene escape from the world. A poignant note from his final days, according to his son, Patrick Wayne, and grandson Matthew Munoz, a Catholic priest. John Wayne quietly converted to Roman Catholicism shortly before his death. It was a deeply personal and resolute decision, offering closure to a life filled with conflict and contemplation. In the years following his passing, theories about the cause of Wayne's cancer continued to circulate. One centered on The Conqueror, 1955, which was filmed near a former nuclear test site in Utah. Over 90 members of the film's cast and crew later developed cancer, leading many to believe radiation exposure may have played a role, though no scientific evidence has definitively confirmed the connection. The story casts an eerie shadow over Wayne's final chapter, even as his body succumbed to illness. Wayne's legacy only grew stronger. In 1985, his family established the John Wayne Cancer Foundation to support pioneering cancer research, public education, and awareness of the courage Wayne embodied both on and off screen. Additionally, the John Wayne Cancer Institute in Santa Monica became a leader in medical breakthroughs, including the development of sentinel lymph node biopsy, a life-saving advancement for melanoma patients worldwide. Wayne's image remains vibrant as a cultural icon. Products bearing his name are still licensed through John Wayne Enterprises, and the John Wayne Airport in Orange County stands as a lasting public tribute to the man who once called the region home. In 1980, just a year after his death, President Jimmy Carter posthumously awarded Wayne the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest civilian honor in the United States. Remarkably, Wayne had attended Carter's inauguration gala and jokingly referred to himself as a member of the loyal opposition, a line that captured both his humor and his unwavering patriotism. The recognition didn't stop there. In 1998, he received the Naval Heritage Award from the USS Navy Memorial Foundation, and in 1999, the American Film Institute ranked him the 13th greatest male screen legend in classic American cinema, solidifying his enduring influence. Still, not all tributes were without controversy. In 2016, a proposal by Republican Assemblyman Matthew Harper to designate a John Wayne Day in California was rejected. The opposition cited Wayne's past remarks on race and his associations with conservative groups like the John Birch Society and the House Un-American Activities Committee. These debates reflect a broader conversation in modern America: how to remember a person in full with all their light and shadows. Despite the flaws and controversies, John Wayne remains irreplaceable. He was not just an actor, he was the embodiment of a character type, a uniquely American ideal, persistent, straightforward, and unyielding. When he died, Hollywood lost a symbol, but America gained a legend. If this journey through the life of John Wayne has resonated with you through its honesty, inspiration, or perhaps just a nostalgic memory, don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Which part of his story moved you the most? Was it the devoted father, the unbreakable warrior, or simply the man who once made you believe in doing what's right? We'd love to hear the next chapter of this story from your point of view.